Venkatesh, go ahead.
Yeah, Vajrang, is it mandatory to get UI certificate to get a job in India, like for RPA
Yes.
developer?
At least you need to have academic certifications.
No.
Uh,
UI certificate. UiPath
UI,
certificate. I am.
yeah, UiPath only. Academy will be enough. If you are planning to go like very high pay scale, then UI ARD and UI RPA will definitely help.
Academic certificate in the sense UI committee. You are telling, right?
Community, right?
Okay. But to apply for that, we should pay some amount, right,
Yeah.
for that?
That's 12,000 or 13,000 for the beginners, and advanced it's around 20,000.
Oh, okay. When I should apply after the training? After 1 month or?
After 1 month? No, not now.
No.
See, I will guide you, Venkateshan, when you're ready, because I'll be able to explain you more. So don't just go by thinking that, okay, within 1 month. Maybe in next 10 days you can take. It completely depends upon how you are working. So this projects training will help you to get ready for the beginners program for the UI RPA. But again, talk to me before you make the payment. I'll be able to guide you and tell you if you're ready or not.
Okay. Actually, I need to plan the money for all this thing like basic course and
Mm.
project and this certificate.
Don't go for certifications now. Even people who are not getting the certifications or who are not completing the certifications of paid certification, because see, not everyone will be paying amount only, then they cannot get the knowledge, right? Even there are members who, even me, I don't have certification for last 4 years or 5 years. In a couple of years back, or a couple of 1 or 2 years back is what I got. But till then I survived, right? Now, even now, people who are getting, they are not having paid certifications, but still they are getting able to get jobs. So certification will definitely give you an edge, but only completing certification will not land you into jobs.
Okay, that's not mandatory for job, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. 1 month is the basic program training, and second month is for project training. After that, are we going to put resume or mm, af- uh, before project training itself? We are going to train to
From the
resume.
moment you join the project training program, that's the moment I'm telling everyone to start keeping your resumes and apply for interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Don't wait. Don't wait till the
in my
end.
case, I have. Okay. In my case,
Mhm.
I have 4 years of experience in the software developer side.
Okay.
Okay. So in my case, how to manage like all 4 years? Am I going to?
Keep 2 years. If you are able to crack the interviews, keep 4 years and try. You will get more hike in your salary.
Okay. Is it more like that? I suppose if I put
Hmm.
4 years.
Yeah, you will be asked more questions on the architecture level questions.
Okay. Um, is your project trainings are enough to survey 3 or 4 years experience? Suppose if I put
Yes,
in the.
they are. If you work with me, yes, they are sufficient.
Okay. How many projects you will be putting? Like I
We are planning
totally.
for four, like as I am saying, but we are covering more on the concepts like database, APIs. That's also we are covering.
Okay.
Now let's
As
see.
of
This session will be covering on the basic on the complete project implementation. You will get to know.
okay. As
Yeah.
of now, I worked about 2 organizations.
Mm.
Can I mention two projects or more than two like that?
That's not how it will work. Completely depends on like you need to be able to, even if you keep one project, you need to explain why you have completed only one project in the last 1 year.
Okay. I heard that most of the RPA projects are very short term,
Yes,
2, 3 like that.
exactly.
So suppose okay. So if I put like 2.5 years, also I have to put then 6, 7 like that.
Again, I'm saying you may also do 20-25 projects within 3 years or 30 plus projects. I have done literally 10. So we'll be completing a new for project on API link queries and a database and storage bucket. Create. Okay. New visual diagram flow. So we are trying to create. So this is the initial step. We are trying to understand the current process. What exactly is the current process? Let's just, okay, this one I think we have also start task capture available. So complete flow will be on unattended mode and in the background process. So we don't need any UI interaction to be available for our requirement. Continue. Let's just wait for the file creation to be completed. Okay, the file creation is completed. So Dikshita, you are aware of API, right? We are
Yeah.
working on the random user API.
Yes, Arjun.
Okay. So what we need to do is every time a bot starts, it need to first fetch API, make API call,
Yeah, make API call.
make random user API, and fetch. How many results can we fetch? Can we fetch 10? Let's just fetch 10 first. Okay, we'll increase the intensity or we'll increase the count as we go forward. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just keeping out everything in the fixed place. Okay, once we make the API call, so we need to filter information with only male members.
Gender.
Filter
Yeah.
only male users. Okay, so after we filter the male users, what we could do is we can go ahead and store the information or uh, store image and or we can just create a text file, create a CSV for each user and store it in the storage bucket. Okay, so what are we doing? We are creating a user, and for every user, we are creating a CSV, and that CSV must be stored in the in our storage bucket. Okay, along with this, we also need to download filter mail users, create CSV. Also with this, download image from API. Okay, now what else can we do? What did we start with? We are working with storage buckets. And finally, we need to send out an email. Even that should work, right?
Yeah.
Send out email to stakeholders that process is successful. Any other inputs? If anyone wants to communicate and if they want to give ideas, please go ahead and give. This is the time. So I'm going to start and I'll be stopping over here. So what is the first activity that we must do, Dikshita?
We need to take a flow chart
Okay. Think from the
or a
beginning.
state machine.
Think from the beginning. If you're given this project, what will you do?
Yeah. We need to write the steps first of all, and
Yes.
we need to perform an algorithm.
Yes, you're right. Let's just go ahead. So the steps, what do we need for these steps is what we will just mention. So we will add new comment. So to make a API call, what do we need? To make an API call, what exactly do we need?
Like you're asking about the activity or
Okay, even if you want to do any activity, what do we need?
Packages, sir. Required packages. API related
No,
packages.
that's incorrect.
HTTP request we need.
Yes and no, incorrect, I would say. We should require an API URL or endpoint. Okay, along with API URL and endpoint, what else do we need? Do we need to know the JSON structure of the result?
yeah.
Okay, so now that we understood that we require API URL, so what is random user API? Random user API. So random user.me and documentation. So we need to have 10 users, right?
Yeah.
So for 10 users, let's go ahead and pull in 10 users. I think the sheet should be not this one. Yeah, results is 10. So we'll just copy this and we'll just remove the unnecessary activities. Admit. Let me just bring this up a bit lower. Okay. So what do we need? API URL. What is the API URL? We have this one, but we don't require this extra fields. Now, who will provide this information for us?
The API will provide the details.
Now, if you are going into your organization, who will provide you this information?
Client.
Client.
Client or business user or BA will give you this information.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, let's just go with, yeah, this is the information that we have. Now, even the results are also available for us. Filter only mail users. I think we can get it from the structure. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay, there is no need for any business input from here. Now,
Yeah.
here, create a CSV for each user and send it. Now, here, what information do we require? If you are making this API call, what information do we require?
We need to have a CSV file.
Think more.
Information of a person, one like full data of a person.
So to write it to CSV, we cannot write every detail that's there in the API, right? We exactly need to know what information do they require out of this particular response. Let's assume that we require mobile number, gender, name, and email. These three fields are what we require. Did you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
So we are not too much focused on every component of this API. We are focused only on three components. So that
Okay.
information we need to have. What is that information? JSON columns or CSV info.
Mobile.
File must be named with current date timestamp. Okay. And after that, columns. What are the columns that we must mention? Name,
Mobile
gender,
number.
email. For now, let's keep all these three.
Okay.
Okay. Now, are these enough for us to perform this CSV?
Yeah.
Okay,
To
great.
store data into CSV, that is enough.
Yeah. Now send out an email. So what information do we require for an email?
Two information.
Email details.
Yeah.
Emails details. Now, when we are Akash, please turn off your video. Okay. So to send out emails, we will not be using Gmail, right? In our organization.
Yeah.
So what do we use?
We use the organization emails.
We use org emails.
Yeah.
Okay. Org emails. What's happening? Okay. Org emails. Now in this org emails, what detail must be used? Or there can be multiple emails where multiple ways we can send out emails. SMTP, which stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. And we can also use Exchange Protocol or Office 365 graph activities. Okay. Now in every organization, we will not use Gmail or will not use your Outlook.
Yeah.
Okay. Your organization email, for example, if you're joining my organization, you will get diksha@vajram.org, right?
Yeah.
Now I didn't give you the email access,
Mhm.
but I'll also give you something like what is the endpoint URL, like how you are accessing your API call. Even this will have a endpoint URL, or you need to have connection URL. Okay. And authentication methods. So how are you authenticating? In all the organizations, when we are going in the background, like when we are doing an automation, we cannot expect a Outlook to be installed in that particular machine, right?
Yeah.
Outlook may or may not be available. All we need is we need to make sure that emails must be sent. So we need not worry about Outlook. An API call will be made by the robot. For that, we need username and password, user and password key. Is that right?
Yes.
And along with this, what is the subject format? Subject format is um, random, like you can just mention random user completed and current timestamp. Okay, what happened? Is that good? So did we get all the information?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's just go back. See, remember now till now I haven't opened any UiPath or I did not write any single activity. Is it right?
Yes.
Now this help us to structure our flow. Now, since we are doing everything in REFramework, okay. Now let's
Mm.
structure what goes where. Now, how many times will you pull a item or will you pull these values? How many times do you need to make API call to get 10 results?
One time.
Now, should it go in every process?
No, we don't need to go.
So where it should go?
Initial application.
It should go in the initialization state.
Yeah.
And even in the initialization, which block?
Initial application block. I think.
It's in the first run
First one. Yeah.
because we need to make this call only once.
Mm.
Okay. Now, after completing the first run, filter only mail users. Now, how many times should we do this?
Once.
So should it also go next to first run?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, after in adding all the mails, creating CSV for each item, how many times this should run?
Like 10 times.
Like as many times as we want.
Like as many times as we have the
So,
results.
so which place should it go?
Process.
Perfect. Now, how many times should we send an email?
Each time we have to send an email to for each result.
Let's assume that there are
So,
1,000 members. We cannot send 1,000
mm.
results, 1,000 emails, right? There should be one
Yeah.
consolidated email to with all the details.
Okay.
So it should be sent only
One.
once. When will you send it?
Even after the process, like after we get each information into a CSV.
Which stage should it go?
It goes into a process.
The process we are doing each and every file, right? When we are doing each and
Yeah.
every file, we cannot send email each and every for every item. It must be sent only
Can be
once.
in process, right?
It should be.
Is it required to be in
In
the
process.
process?
Yes, it should be in the end process.
Okay.
Now tell me one thing. Now, since we are adding or filtering the items and we are using REFramework, now should there be an orchestrator in between?
Yeah, we should have, because we are using credentials.
Not only for credentials, but to store our items, like whatever filtered mail users are available, they must be
Yeah.
stored into a queue, and then from queue we'll be picking up.
Mm.
And to use storage buckets also we should use orchestrator, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
see, we are using a component of orchestrator. That is a queue,
Okay.
orchestrator queue. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here, even these assets, we are not going to store locally. We are going to store where?
An orchestrator.
Orchestrator as a part of asset.
Asset. Yeah.
Okay. So what else can we do? What else can you think of? We are sending out queue, and from queue we are getting the information, and from the information we are checking. Now tell me one thing. Is this easy now to understand your process, or directly into, if you go into the code, will that be easy?
This is the easiest way. First, we need to figure out all the requirements, steps,
Yes.
everything.
Yes. Now let's make it quick. How much time do you think the process will take to complete the complete activity?
If you know all the activities, then it will be just 5 to 10 minutes work.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and do it in 5 minutes. So I'll be going again with REFramework. Let's just go with Vajrang.org, and we'll just copy the path and API, and then queue. What else? Storage buckets we are going to use, and then let's go ahead and create.
Emails.
Now we didn't add storage bucket, right?
Yeah.
So what we could do is, after creating an CSV, let's go ahead and add storage buckets also.
So why do we need the storage bucket, Vajran?
Let's assume that you want to store the information in your local machine. Can I have access for this local machine?
No, we will not.
Let's assume that now we are storing that in the storage bucket, and everyone in the organization having orchestrator access also have access for the storage bucket. Now, is it easy for you to grab information from the storage bucket?
Yeah.
Upload info from storage bucket. So it's like a cloud
Okay.
location where we are trying to get the accesses. That's it.
Okay.
Understood this part?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I move to the next activity?
Yeah.
Okay, done. So yeah, we are almost done. So members who are joined new, were you able to understand this concept or not? I'm sure people who are just now started with the basics may not understand, but others, were you able to understand the concept?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's go with initialization. Now, anytime you want to start a project, just make sure when you're deploying your code, you need to, the best practice
Remove.
is to remove workflows, unused workflows, variables, arguments, dependencies, imports, and screenshots. Okay. So just make sure you are doing that. And for now, I'll keep everything hard coded, and then I'll take it forward in the next level. I'll add some details. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it fine?
Yeah, as Vajran.
Okay. So let's just go with this one. What's the first step we need to do? We need to make an API call, right?
Yeah, API call. The
So
HTTP
for this, which activity do we need?
HTTP request.
HTTP request. So for this, which package do we need?
UiPath web API
Yeah,
package
web API.
UiPath.web API.
UiPath.web. Okay, let's
Yeah.
just go.
Web API.
back,
Yeah.
manage packages, go to all packages, UiPath dot web API activities. Save. Now, once this gets to download, we will get few activities. Web, if you just search for web, there's HTTP request, and also we'll get JSON. Is it right?
Yeah.
So why are we using JSON?
The
To
memory.
convert that string into object.
The response that we are getting from the API is the form of JSON.
Yeah, which is in
Okay.
string format, sir.
We'll retrieve it as a string format, but it's actually JSON, right?
JSON, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll keep a new sequence. And in this new sequence, let's go ahead and add. Oh, what is this? Okay. So here, let's go ahead and add a dispatcher. Okay. So why am I mentioning this as a dispatcher? Because this acts as data loader to the queue. Okay. Now let's go with HTTP request. When we are making HTTP request configure, we have the URL, right? What is the URL? Randomuser.me.
Yeah.
And then /results is what we need to add. I'm just checking with my web. So this is the URL. Copy and paste. Now this must go in a double quote. I think that's the reason it's throwing error. Click save. Here we are getting and click on OK. Okay. Now click on saved. Now whatever result that we are going to get, properties. Okay. So do we need to add this as a data table? Or do we need to assign this to a DT transaction data?
Yeah, we have to assign it.
Before assigning it, like see, though every requirement must be assigned to DT transaction data, there are few changes that you can think of. Now this is a JSON structure, right?
Yeah.
Now if you change this DT transaction data, there should be there are multiple places where you need to change this information also. Okay, so instead of that, what I could do, I'll first get the content, response content, str response. So whatever information I get, I will get over str response. Now, should I use DCLS JSON or DCLS JSON array?
Depends on the content we'll be using it.
So what are we getting? Is it a JSON or JSON array? What is the response that we are getting?
JSON array.
Inside results, we have JSON array, but object is JSON, right?
Yeah, JSON. Yeah. First, we
So
need
which
to get
activity
the
should we
JSON.
use? JSON.
Deserialize JSON.
Okay, let's go ahead with deserialize JSON. Now in deserialize JSON, the input will be from the previous activity.
From the previous, yeah.
Okay, and the output will be Control K, J object of response. Now, when we are checking with this J object of response, should this be J object or in different?
It has to be an JSON object.
So it should be JSON link, JSON object.
Yeah.
Click on OK. Done?
Yeah.
Okay. Now here, once we are getting this information, now I will tell you the easiest way, maybe link query we can do at the end if we have time. Now we need to loop in all the items or all the, for example, if you are making this 10 results. Now every result will be inside result panel or result object and it is an array. Is it correct?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and add for each loop. Okay. In this for each loop, what we could do before adding a for each loop, what we have results in the form of JSON array, right?
Yeah.
So results we must convert into JSON array. So how to convert response? So what is the key that we need to use to get the results? Results. Okay, let's go ahead and give results. Dot toString. Okay. Now, once we get the results, I think this is incorrect. What's happening? Disallows late binding. J object of response results. Okay. I think this is incorrect. This is object. We must change this to JSON object.
Yes.
Okay. Now the results array, they will be J array of results. Okay. So whatever results that we are getting, we are adding it into a variable called J array of results.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we will loop in with all the items of array. So to
Array.
loop in with all the items, can we just mention array because this is a collection? Can we just mention it
Yeah.
like this?
Yeah, we can mention.
Okay. Now, since this is J array, if you just observe, we will have three things. Condition, if there is a condition that we want to meet to break it, we can add it. If the max iterations, for example, if there are 10,000 items, I want to control only 10 items, I can mention it over here. Or index, what is the current index that we are working, we can mention over here. Now, where are we getting the gender? Is it the first key?
Yeah, in results, it's the first.
So can I add just log? I will to check with the information. Let's add a log message and let's go ahead and see current item of what is the value that I need to give.
Results.
Results is already available.
Okay, it's a
This is the
gender.
current item. In the current item, which key do we need?
Gender.
Gender we should use.
Gender. Let's go ahead and let's paste over here. Okay. Now the log level we can keep as is. Okay. Now we should not add items with female gender. Is it right?
Yeah, we need only male.
We need only male. So can I just add a if condition initially? In this if condition, can I just go ahead and check if current gender, if this is equal to male,
Equal to male. Yeah.
then go ahead and add item to queue. Can I do it?
Yeah, we can do that. I think it has to be in double quotes.
Yes. Now, if it is female, what we must do?
It goes to an else part and we'll write it in.
Log message. We can just mention stating that female gender will not be processed.
Yeah.
I'm not doing discrimination of gender here, by the way. Okay. Now, when we are getting a male gender, now we need to send it to orchestrator queue. Is it right?
Yes.
Because we need to retrieve it and we need to store it somewhere else. Is it correct?
Yeah.
So to add to queue, what are the activities do we have?
Add queue.
Which activity will you use between both?
We can use add queue item.
Why not bulk items?
If we have multiple queues to be taken into one, then we'll use bulk.
So if we have more than, for example, in the current item, we are getting only one item to write. If
Yeah.
we are getting like complete table, we can use bulk queue items, bulk add queue
Oh.
items.
Mm.
Okay. The queue name, I'm going to get it from, I already have process basic queue. I'm going to get it from in our config. So from the config, what is the value? Config of?
Orchestrator queue name, I think it has
Correct.
to be.
Orchestrator queue name.
Queue name.
Okay. Dot toString. Basically, it
Yeah.
is assigned to a process basic queue, but this will work for us, right?
Mm.
Now in the item collection, the key and the value. Now key, what is the key that we need?
Gender.
Let's just go back into our requirement. Now the key must be name, gender, and email, right?
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and add those keys over here. Name, add entry, gender, add
Email.
entry, email. So when they are asking name, is it the first name, last name, or the full name? What should we add?
We can
Should be
take
full name.
both.
Let's assume that when they are saying name, it's full name, like the first name plus last name and the title. All the three combines a full name.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's just go ahead and try to find or identify. I'm keeping this on the left and I'll be placing this on the right. Where is our? Okay. Do you see UiPath?
No, we don't see it here.
Let's just add it over here. Okay. Now let's just go with this one. Click on save. And let's just add it to the right. Okay, I think it's not allowing us. Let's just add it over here. Let's keep it over here. Okay. Now add to queue items we are having, and let's just see the information. Now name should be first name, last name, and the middle name, right? So
Yeah.
we have current item. From current item, where we must navigate?
Title. Sorry, it's a name.
Name. After name,
We
Should be
have to go into
title first.
title
okay. Dot toString.
first.
So first we are
We
going to
can.
get one value.
Okay.
Then
Then
concatenate it with first name, second name, sorry, title, first name, and last name.
Last name.
Okay. So we'll just add double quotes, space, and add plus, add then plus. So we are going to get only one item if we are making, like, you cannot add first name, comma, last name, title, comma, name, title, comma, first, comma, last. You cannot do that. You're going to get only one value, first and last.
Last.
Okay. And then let's go ahead and save it. Now, gender. Can we directly give current item of gender?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dot
But
string.
by the time we come here, irrespective of what it will be male only. Is it right?
Yeah.
Because we are filtering already male
We are
items.
already
So,
filtering it. Yeah.
so you can just mention male if we require, but that's fine. So email, from where will we get email? So is email directly in the parent or is it inside something?
No, it's directly an email. We can just give current item of email
Current item of email dot toString.
to string.
Okay, save it. Done. Now, once we run this, what is the expected output?
We'll get all the filtered details and data will be stored into a queue.
So let's just go ahead and write a log message. And in this log message, we will just try to mention stating that dispatcher is completed or dispatcher process is completed. So that we'll get to know that the first process is done.
Yeah.
Okay, just try to mention dispatcher. Now, once we are done with this, let's not write or do the complete code. Let's try to see. Debugging is most important. If you write a piece of code, test it. Okay. So what I would do, I will go into debug and try to enable all the three: execution trail, highlights, and log activities. That will give you more information on when you're executing it. And yeah, let's go ahead and keep a breakpoint over here so that this will be stopped after dispatcher and we'll run.
Yeah.
Debug.
then we have not used bulk upload queue items, right? Will it write to the orchestrator queue?
Yes, add queue item will add only one item to orchestrator queue. Bulk upload will add a table information to a queue. So both should be used depending upon the requirement. Parikshit, when you are making a for loop, how many items will we get?
It will be multiple. Like since in this case we are extracting 10, so it will be. I mean,
Correct.
for each
But
loop, for each loop you are asking.
So
Each
what
loop it
you,
will collect only one.
yeah. So in the for loop, you're correcting only one. So if you need to use bulk upload, how you need to do is create a data table on the top, and for every row,
Sorry,
create a
sorry for
add
that.
row and create a data table and then add bulk items at once. Okay.
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Okay.
Can you please
Now here I'm adding it only one item at a time, right?
Yes.
Now instead of this is not a data table again. It's a JSON.
Yes. Yes.
Now to use bulk add queue items, we need to use data table.
Okay.
So we need to convert this JSON into data table first, only then we can use bulk add queue items.
Got it.
Okay. Done. So deserializing JSON, step into this is deserializing JSON. So to check how many items did we get, what is the best way?
Watch
J
time
object, J response of results
count.
dot
Count.
count. Did we get 10?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's just go and see for each and every item what's happening. I am keeping a breakpoint over here. Continue. Now we are at this position and it's mentioning female. Now if it is female, should we run it?
No.
No,
Step
we should
into, it goes into else block.
process.
Gender will not be processed. Let's just remove the breakpoint from here and let's keep it inside this one so that whenever there is gender male, we will get the execution. Now we got male. Now I don't have, let me just show you my queue first. Cloud.uipath.com is what I'm using because my orchestrator is connected to cloud. And so I have my workspace. In my workspace in the queues, I have process ABC queue. In this process ABC queue, if you view transactions, there are 4 transactions, but none of them are new. So if I just go and step into this particular activity, now will I get one item to queue?
Yeah.
And we just need to see details. Did we get name, gender, and email?
Yes.
Okay. Now save it and close. Okay. Now, if we execute it as many times, so the queues will be created continuously. Is it right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I did not write any code to consume the queues. Now, will REFramework automatically consume the queue or not?
It will consume automatically.
Yes. So if we don't have any logic, it will just consume one queue item and then it will close. If we just open it here, let's keep a breakpoint. If I'm fast, let me know. I'll slow down a bit. And this is process workflow. And inside process workflow, I have kept a breakpoint, clicked on continue. So is there any data to initialize or initialize application? Is it required?
No.
Because we are not initializing any UI applications.
Yeah.
Step into. Now, did we already get one item in transaction item? If we see this, did we get one item now?
Yes.
How the items will be fetched? Is it first come first serve or the highest priority?
Yes, it
No,
is
first
come first serve.
By default, it will be first come first serve. But if we are giving any priority to queues, for example, while adding the items to orchestrator, let's assume that we will prioritize female items first, then male items. So in the add queue item, we have in the properties, we have something called priority. Can you see this?
Yeah.
So there are multiple priorities available. The priorities are high, normal, and low. If you are not giving any priority, it's normal priority, and it will be first come first serve.
Okay.
If you are mentioning it as high priority, even though it uploads at the end, it will be picked up first. Did you understand this?
Yeah, I got it.
So it's like first come first serve, just like our projects training program. If you are coming first and registering, you will be given first priority. If you are coming out of, like if you miss the deadline, then you will be moved to the next. You need to wait for 30 more days. That's the same way we have this one also. Like queue also we have high priority items first, that will be picked up by the bot. If there is no priority, then first come first serve. Whoever comes first, they will be served. Click on continue. So are we having any process in the, are we having any execution process in the process flow?
No, we don't have anything.
So what are the steps that, so can I just stop it for now?
Yes.
No, we have to execute it, right? Only we have
Yes.
executed one.
Let's go ahead and execute everything and let's see.
Yeah.
So we have how many items now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of 10 items, 7 items are
Male,
male, and remaining 3 are
female.
female. That's right. Now it's updating all the items. Let's just see. Okay, it's having a breakpoint. Let's just remove the breakpoint. Now, from which stage is it getting one item to process?
From new state.
Get
From
transaction.
transaction.
Get transaction.
Get transaction.
Yeah.
Get transaction stage.
Okay.
So all the items are getting successful, but we are not doing anything in these items, or we are not using these items for now.
Mhm.
We have 5 more minutes. Let's just see if we are able to complete this activity within the next 5 minutes. Process. Let's go into this one. And what do we have? What are the steps that we need to do? Okay, let's just close this. We will use this one. So, okay. Yep. So Visio, back to Visio. Now, once we took mail users, we need to create what? CSV for each user, is it
CSV.
right?
Yeah.
And store in the storage bucket.
Storage bucket.
Correct. So to create storage bucket, do we need to have storage bucket in our logo, in our machine or in our orchestrator or not?
Yeah, we should have it in an orchestrator.
So let's just go ahead and create a storage bucket. So where do we create a storage bucket? Go to workspace, storage buckets, create
Add storage.
new storage bucket, and the name of the storage bucket is September 2023, week 4. This is the storage bucket name. So normally, where will you store the storage bucket name? Is it in the code? Where do you store this information, like the key?
In config.
In the config sheet, that's right. And
Yeah.
in config, is it in the assets or settings or constants?
I think we store it in an assets.
Yeah, because
Sorry.
this once
Yeah.
once this is created, this will not change, so it should be in the settings.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now everything that keeps on changing can go into assets. Something like URL, if it is changing every 15 days. Something like location, like even if this storage bucket, if every week we are creating a new storage bucket and giving a new name, then it can go into assets, or it should be in the
Settings.
exactly. That's right. Now let's go ahead and create CSV. So to write CSV or to write CSV, what are the inputs that we need?
We need a folder name.
DT current table
Yeah,
variable, and write to what file, like what is the file name. So what is the
file.
requirement that they have given?
We need to write each result to a CSV file.
File name has been named with current date and time stamp. It must be with current date and timestamp, right?
Current date and timestamp. Yeah.
Okay, so let's ignore the timestamp because every time it executes, a file will be created or else. Okay, let's just create. So how to get a current timestamp?
System date time dot now.
So we can use something called, now these are the interview questions that people will
Now.
normally ask. Now dot toString. And the format, what is the format? D caps stands for date, M stands for month, YY stands for year, HMS, hours, months, seconds. Okay, now dot toString plus
Sir,
dot
we,
CSV.
sir,
Asmit, go ahead, ask a question.
do we need to convert it into string for date format?
If you convert into string, you will have control on what's writing in the code. And moreover, yes, you need to convert it because the file path accepts string.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Now, where will you store these files? Now we have folder structure. See, data normally we will not store it with the code, but for this use case, let's go ahead and store in this particular data folder. Now we have input, output, and temp, where you will store all the files, all the results that we got.
In temp, we'll be storing.
We can store it in the output.
Okay.
Okay. So again, it completely depends upon your requirement. If you are able to justify, it's fine. You can also say that, okay, I'll be deleting this temp files. So I'll create it in the temp and I will delete it at the end. So I'll be using a temp folder. So if you are able to justify it, they will be okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now to go and give in the temp, what we need to do, we need to give
Folder path.
folder path. That is, so how can you combine two paths? Like we have data folder and then slash output. And then we also have something called str file path. Now, how will you combine these two paths?
Yes,
What is it?
The concatenation.
We can use concatenation, but the best way is using path.combine. So if you are using any, if you're using Linux or Mac, this code will help you to create their own format and it will give you the correct path. Okay, now save it and we are storing it. Once we are storing, now we need to write it back to our storage bucket. Is it right? The last step?
Yeah.
Okay, storage bucket. Now in this, do we need to upload or write or what we need to do? Write to storage
You
text.
need to write to storage bucket. Write storage text.
Write storage text, but we have it as a file, right?
Okay.
Already. So you can just directly upload the storage file.
Okay.
Okay. Now the
So if
path
we are
of
writing
it,
something new, then we'll be writing it to a
like if you don't have it in your local machine, like you can use write text file also. Sorry, write to file, but this is a data table, right? That we are creating, not a text.
Yeah.
Now that cannot be written directly to a text file .txt. It must be used. We need to convert using write CSV. This converts it. Okay. Now before writing it to CSV, we need to create a data table. Is it right?
Yes.
Can we use build data table for it?
Yeah, we can use it.
What is the first column?
Name.
Or what is the second column?
Gender and email.
So gender is integer or string?
String.
Gender. The last one is?
Email.
Email. Click on OK.
String. Yeah.
Now let's just see. We cannot get variables over this place. So whatever we have, we'll place it over here. And this, what is this variable should be assigned to?
Data table.
DT. It's current table, right?
Yeah.
We are creating a new table. And what also we need to add? We need to add a data row. Why are we adding a data row?
Current data table is blank.
Exactly. The
That's
current
why
table is blank. We don't have any information on it. We need to give the information. Okay. So to give information, do we have all the information in our transaction item?
Yeah.
So what are the keys that we are going to get from the transaction item? Use, view transactions, view details. So is it name?
It's name. Okay.
Dot specific content, is it right?
Yeah, specific content of
Dot
name
toString,
plus
comma. Okay. Now after name, what is the other activity? Gender.
gender and email.
So see, I'm copying it, but I'm not pasting. This will avoid any kind of typos or typing errors. Okay,
And then, yeah,
just save. So we have all the items. Now the row should be added to which table?
DT current table.
Yes, let's go ahead and add it. Now the destination. This is important. Storage bucket name. What is the storage bucket name that we are using?
The name which we have given.
Storage bucket. So is this the name?
September. Yeah.
I'm just going in respect of the time. I'm just going faster. Now path. Now there are two paths: destination path and the file and this path. What is this one? File resource you will be using when we are working with Cloud Studio. Okay.
Oh,
There we will get a file path as a resource. So there we will use it. Okay. Now we have the path of it, right? We currently have the file path over here. Is it right?
yeah.
So is this our current path that we must mention?
Yes.
This is the input of the path where it should upload. Now
Yeah.
here in the destination, we need to tell where it should upload. Edit. Sorry, view files. So like we have here folder paths, right? Like if you're seeing here, we have September 2023 projects was run. This is the folder path, is it right?
Yeah.
In the same way, we can give folder paths, our text in the storage bucket. Let's not go in depth on that. But what I will do is let's go ahead and give the file name. So how to get a file name from this path? How to get a file name from the path? Again, this is also an interview question.
Directory.get.
Directory.get files will get all the files. Path.get
Yeah.
file name will give you the file name. Okay. Path.get file name .toString. And here you need to pass in what is the path, str file path. So from this path, get the file name and give it for me. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just save it and let's have a breakpoint over here. Let's run the code. Now, when we run the code, will again all the 10 items be added to queue?
Yeah. Again, all the 10 will be added.
I will ask one last question. If you know the answer, just go ahead and type in the chat if you have access. I have 10 values, right? Now in runtime, when I am deployed, I want to change that to 20 or 30. Now, should I change it back in the orchestrator? So should I change it in the queue? So not in the queue. Should I change it in the code? If I should not change it in the code, what changes should I make?
We should change in the code, I think, in the HTTP request configure.
Mm-hmm.
In that URL, we can increase that number to 20.
Now let's assume that that changed again. We cannot have that directly in the code, right? Now how to make it dynamic?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
For example, if I want to make it dynamic, how to do it?
Variable passing.
We can use pass a URL in configuration.
Pass a URL inside.
Configuration.
Now config also will be there in the package. Now when we are mentioning config in the package, even that will be like you need to deploy it again. Whenever you want to change the config, you need to deploy it again. Again, I'll just try to retry this because I think that the file is not created yet while this is getting uploaded. Now, when I just click on upload storage file, if you see here, just think about it. This is the file path, file name that we have. If we just open it, sure, this is very slow. So did we get the values?
Yeah.
Did we get one value? Why do we have this comma in the beginning? This is also one more interview question. Why do we have a comma in the beginning?
Is it separating the key by defining a comma?
Is it separating the key by?
Would, that is why a comma is present there. I'm not sure.
The problem is with build data table. In build data table, there is an extra row that we deleted, but it did not save. Okay. Now, did you understand why it added comma?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is with this path. Now, if you're seeing here, what is the error that we are getting? Could not find the file e developers rp developer 2023 projects version API queue, and directly it is searching for this particular path. Now, how can we make sure that it fetches the correct path? How can we make sure it's fetching the correct path? There is an activity called path.getFullPath. Will help you to give the correct path from the directory. Now here we just created what? We just created the file name over here, right? Is that correct? Now.toString, we created the file name. So what exactly it's doing? It is going into this folder path and here it is checking. Now the file, do we have the file here?
No, inside data it is there, right?
It's there inside data, inside output.
Yes.
Okay, so we just need to mention or we need to update this one. What I can do is I'll just copy this. Okay, and I will add this over here and I will update this one. Control X. So with the current path, I'm just adding it to str file path and I'm sending the str file path. And now this str file path contains the complete path of the file. It's not having only the name of the file. And then I'm sending the file path completely. Now, if you see here, writing CSV file and upload to storage file is taking a bit of time. So it's failing sometimes when the file is not yet generated. So how can we correct it? How can we correct it? Can anyone answer? Maybe treat it as some interview question and try to answer. If something is failing and if you want to know how it is failing and if you want to try again, what is the activity that you need to use?
I catch.
Retry. Because try catch again will be used to find an error and to solve it. But we know that this may fail multiple times. If we just use retry scope, and if we mention number of retry times 3, and just wait for 2 seconds or 3 seconds before going the next try, this will actually try it for 3 times and then it will throw error.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the best way to do it. And there need not be any condition, this retry scope will work. Let's just go ahead and execute the code, run the code. And we'll stop it over here. So this is executing. And when it is executing, let's just go ahead and see here. Are we getting the files generated?
Yes.
And also see here in the local files. Are we getting all the files over here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just visit back our requirement and then we'll see. Now, did we make an API call?
Yes.
Did we filter the mail users?
Yeah.
Did we create CSV?
Yes.
Did we upload the storage bucket?
Yes.
So email will be set tomorrow, but again, it's only for the internal members. So for the rest of the members, hope the demo is good enough for you to understand what is the complexity that we are currently working on. And moreover, what is the last thing that I need to do? So one last thing that's pending is you need to send out an email. The email can be sent in the end process. That's the only thing that we have. So you tell me now, how's the session? You can give me the feedback and then we can close this session for today. And at the end, I will tell you what and how I will go. I am going to change that number to dynamic without changing the code. Asmit, I hope you are more interactive. Can you please unmute and give the feedback?
Yes, sir, it was good.
Yep, go ahead.
Sir, do in our project training,
Mhm.
we will get a basic understanding of REFramework. So yeah, we will directly jump into project.
This is the fourth project that we like fourth week. The first 2 weeks are on basics of REFramework.
Yeah.
That is the reason people were able to answer.
Oh.
Any other questions? Okay, if there are no questions, we'll be starting our projects training and basics training from 2nd of October. And don't delay. You may miss the chance and the price hike might be done as soon as possible because of the increase in our resources as well. So just try to make sure you get the opportunity to get it at a lower price within this month. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
interrupt one more.
Mhm.
So do we work on the community edition or?
I will give you enterprise trial versions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The code you will write is on UiPath community code, but you need to deploy it in the enterprise.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. The last point that I would like to mention, like how to make this code dynamic. If you see this variable we are taking, we already have two variables, right? In orchestrator QNAME in orchestrator folder, Q folder.
Yes.
Along with this, we can write max results. max items. And when we deploy our code, we will get this as an in argument. And this value, we need to pass it in the API call. Configure. So instead of 10, what we must mention over here?
Asterisk.
In max items.
Okay.
So whenever we are deploying the code, we'll get this as an in argument. And if we are giving like, okay, I want 20. Now, how many results can we get?
We'll get 20.
Yes, the moment you run the code, 20 items will be added and downloaded over here.
This is really helpful.
Okay.
The session is recorded. You said dynamic.
Sorry, what is it?
Sorry, Arjun was asking something.
Parishit, I did not get your question. Just a second. Arjun, ask your question, please.
The session is recorded or no?
Yeah, these sessions are getting recorded, but this will be shared only with the members.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you see now, we
I
have.
was saying,
Tell me.
the moment you said dynamic, I was just thinking about the UI like selectors.
Yeah. Okay. So anything that comes on the fly is dynamic. Okay. So when we are saying dynamic, it means that the value is not fixed and it can change.
Yes. Every time it's being fetched, it will be changed, right?
Exactly.
But Vajrang, in defaults, we have already mentioned it as 20, right? But then how will it be a dynamic?
Now, when I just go ahead and deploy this particular project, publish. Now this goes into my folder, is it right? Workspace, since I'm already in the workspace. Did we see here? API, APQ. Now when I try to run it from my studio, or when I try to run it from my assistant, where is this one? API queue. Yes. Exit. Now can you see the max items in max items?
Use default value.
If I just give 30 now and run it, how many items will it execute now?
Yeah, 30.
So is this dynamic?
Basically the limit we are setting, but
Yes.
every execution, if we
Yes.
want to change the number, that
Yes.
will be considered like dynamic. It is
Yes.
not something which is standard.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh.
Now for this change, I need not like this simple change. If I keep this in the code, every time I need to redeploy this package, is it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is this necessary to redeploy this package, or can I just add the values and run?
No,
You
we
can
can
just
just
give the input and
Okay. Now, if you just see, when I deploy the code will be in a separate folder, and that's not uploaded here over here. The files are not updated over here. Now, you cannot check the files from here, right? When you deploy it. But since you have orchestrator access, and since we are storing it in storage buckets, we'll be able to see the changes.
yes, we can download and see that.
Now, did you understand why we are using storage bucket?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for today's session. I hope you had a great learning and great session. Amazing viewers, hope you are loving our content. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now.